Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Opposite Sides of the Spectrum. If you are new here, I am Lauren,
I'm Tiara.
and we are in a new little spot, as y'all can tell. We decided it would be nice just to switch up the little environment and just have y'all see something a little different. And you see, like the little microphones, so we're trying to do better with the sound, y'all. If you read my little description, I've been saying we're gonna do better, so we really trying. But
See,
Tiara's doing the question this week. So we gonna jump right in. So what's the question?
you're really excited about this question. Okay, this question is, what is it that I do in our friendship that makes you feel heard and understood?
Oh, that's a good question.
Lauren really loves like deep, intimate, personal questions, so I knew she would enjoy this question.
I think because you're a very straightforward person,
hmm
and if y'all know me, when I'm feeling some type of way or something, sometimes it's easy for me to just to shut down. So I do appreciate me like just saying, Lord, like what's wrong? Just asking,
Yeah.
or just like telling me, okay, Lauren, like what's going on, instead of just letting me like completely shut down.
Yeah.
So that really does help. And the fact that you are very open minded, that's
hmm
very helpful too. So I don't sound crazy.
Lauren is always thinking she sounds crazy about something, but
I
I'm just
do.
like, you're not crazy.
I
You're not
do
crazy.
because there's not a lot of open minded people.
Unfortunately, there's really not a lot of open-minded people. You're very correct about that.
So I think that does help me be heard. And then because we had just have very similar life experiences, that also helps.
I swear, we live the same life. Like when we talk about things, I'm like, we just live the same life.
hmm
Like we literally live the same life. It's really crazy. So,
It is what it is.
mhm.
I guess I'll flip the question since you already asked.
I I like that you actually listen to me
Mhm.
and not just kind of be like, okay, like I don't know how to explain it, but you actually do like listen to me, and it's kind of similar. Like you listen to my crazy ideas, and you'll listen to me rant. Like you actually genuinely listen to me talk, and it's not like you're dismissing how I feel about things,
Oh,
and that's actually helped me like feel my feelings and process my feelings because I don't feel like you're like being dismissive of me and like how I feel. So I do like
okay. Look at what they need to do the questions more often.
You were so silly. Oh my goodness, you were so silly.
Maybe you should.
But yes. And if you listen, because we just recorded our friendship episode, right?
Yeah, we did.
If you want to get to know more about our friendship, you can definitely listen to our friendship episode. We talk more about our relationship with each other and our friendship. So we will definitely do like another episode like that to kind of like do a deep dive into like our family lives and why I say it feels like we've lived the same life.
Yeah, because
Because it's a lot.
y'all will understand like,
hmm
oh, they weren't just saying that to say that.
hmm
Like, there's very specific examples of why we say that.
One example that I think is really funny is that at this time our parents did not know of each other,
Yeah.
that each other even existed. But you were born in Atlanta,
hmm
and my parents went to Atlanta when I was like one. And so me and you were in Atlanta at the same time, which is really
That
crazy.
is crazy.
So just like stuff like that, I'm just like I feel like it was meant for me and Lauren to meet and be in each other's lives because there's just been too many things
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, if we didn't meet at this point in life, we would have met at this point in life.
hmm Same. And it wasn't like how our friendship is now. It did not start off that way.
If you told me when I was in high school that Lauren would be the person that I would be best friends with, I would have not believed you.
I agree because I wouldn't believe the same thing either. I'd have been like, really? Because there are definitely some other people I would have had in mind before you.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, it's like it's a great unexpected friendship. I feel like we developed a really natural relationship towards each
Yeah.
other. So
And we just
I
let it
like the way we
happen
met.
in
Yeah.
due time. It wasn't like forced. I feel like a
Hmm.
lot of people now just force relationships,
Yeah, you
and it
can't do
doesn't
that.
work out.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm. Because forced relationships are never good.
it's not
They
in
never
any
end
type
out
of
well.
capacity, whether it's romantic, friendship,
Mm-hmm.
family. It doesn't matter. It's not. It's not good if it's forced.
Mm-mm.
So
Well, what's next
we're
on the
gonna.
agenda?
I guess we're gonna go ahead and move to this good old food segment.
Well, we're at White Rhino.
Yes.
I got a matcha, a dreamsicle matcha. The word dreamsicle worried me because I'm not like a orange, because people usually use that word with like orange
Hmm.
dreamsicle. So I'm like, I don't know, but I want to try something new. But it's like a sweet matcha with oat milk. So I actually like it. Like I like it more than I thought I was gonna like it. Lauren did not like it.
It
She
was
said it was
nasty.
nasty.
It
It's
was
not nasty.
nasty. The
It's not
initial taste
nasty.
was. It tasted like tree and something else mixed together. And then as the taste died down, it kind of got good, and then it got nasty,
If you like matcha, you would like this drink.
which I don't. Clearly.
And Lauren don't. If you don't like matcha, yes, you're gonna think it tastes like grass. Like it's gonna be nasty to you.
And I got a cookie, y'all. It looks very messy because I asked them to warm it up, and I don't want to get chocolate all over. I want to eat it, so I kind of crumbled it up so I could eat it easier.
I'm screaming. She's eating that cookie like a 5-year-old right now, and
Look,
that's sending me.
it's good to be five sometimes. I don't have to pay bills at 5 years of age. Let me be five again. Life gets complicated. But so, y'all, today is like
The first day she can eat food.
in like a week
Mhm. Mhm. She got food poisoning.
from good old. Well, yeah, do y'all want to guess first from where I got food poisoning? I'm gonna give y'all a minute to guess, and then I'm gonna say it. And maybe y'all should put in a comment, like maybe I'll
Yeah.
make a little comment where you think I got food poisoning from.
But let's just tell about your food poisoning, and then we'll make a post, see if y'all were
Yeah.
right. Are you okay? There's bugs out here. I have to flick away an ant because I hate ants. When I see ants, it literally makes my skin crawl. I can't focus.
Y'all, it was like an ant or something on me, but I'm fine. I just felt something. I didn't know what it was, and it was a bug. But I'm cool.
I actually like being outside, but
She don't like the bug.
yeah, I just don't like the bugs. That's all. I feel like the wind is supposed to keep the bugs away because it's so windy. So.
Yeah. Well, I went to good old Popeyes um, for a solo date, and I had usually I just get their chicken tenders now, but I really wanted some fried chicken, so I got like this little 5 piece like fried chicken combo with
I didn't know you got the
two
5 piece.
with two biscuits,
Dang.
some fries, and some rice and beans. Of course, I didn't eat all of that in one night, but I ate like maybe two, and then I think this is what really made me sick, y'all. If y'all have watched, like, if y'all are big on YouTube like I am, I know y'all seen this little honey pack challenge trend go around. So it was a solo date, which I highly suggest y'all do solo dates. It's very good for y'all mental and physical well being. And I thought
I
it would
agree.
be nice to just have a little fun. And every time I try to have fun, y'all see what happens. So I ate it, and that first night, like nothing happened. Like I didn't feel anything, so I just thought it didn't work. Cause I was literally on the phone with him. I'm like, this is not working.
She was so upset. She was so irritated. I'm like,
So
well, mm.
yeah. And then Friday, I started getting a headache, but I didn't think much of it because I was just like, well, maybe because it's hot or like it is what it is. And then Saturday was her birthday celebration that I messed up.
You did not mess it
I
up.
did. I
You did
did mess
not
it
mess it
up.
up.
But like around 3 to 5 in the morning, I started feeling really, really sick, and I threw up that morning. But then I felt better, so I'm like, okay, this is new. Because usually when I throw up, I do not feel better at all. I feel worse. But this, I'm like, okay, I feel better, so I don't have to cancel it. Because I did not want to call Tierra and Taylor and tell them, oh, don't come, because they were looking forward to it. Like, we're going to push through this. So after all that, I started feeling a little bit better, and Tierra came over. I ended up telling her, because I was going back and forth if I was going to tell her or not. But
I should have canceled our thing that we had. I should have.
well, okay, I was feeling okay if I hadn't eaten the pizza because we went to a pizza place and that was my fault. If I hadn't eaten the pizza, I think I would have been okay, and we still could have went to like the putt thing. But because I ate that greasy pizza, and I only had maybe like four because the slices are small, y'all. They're
Yeah.
not like big slices. And after like four, I started feeling sick, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me!" I was so mad. And then I had to go to the bathroom and they were trying to celebrate her birthday. And I was just like, crap. But I also didn't want to embarrass her either. So I just went to the bathroom, y'all. And thankfully, I did not do anything in there. So I came back out and I told Tara, just pay for the food. Like, I left my card. I went to the car because
That's
the,
how I knew she was feeling bad because she's never done anything like that, like ever.
the smell of the pizza was just making me more nauseous. So I had to get up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all, I felt so bad. I was like so mad. I was just in the car waiting for them to come out. And I'm just like, I felt so bad. And I know Tierra was so bad and sad at the same time. Because her sister also drove all the way down there, and that's also why I felt so bad because I'm just like, crap. So I was like, well, let me see if I can just drive them down there, but it was issues with it. So we just ended up coming back to my place, and I was pretty much knocked out for a couple of hours.
Just let you sleep because I'm like,
There's nothing you can do when you're sick. Like when it's a virus, like bacteria in your body, the only way is just let it move on its own timing.
yeah.
Unfortunately, so I didn't even hear them leave. Like I knew they were gonna leave because I heard them, but I didn't. I didn't hear nothing. And usually I hear everything. That's also how I know I didn't feel good.
That's why I was telling Taylor when we left because she was like, "Oh, we're gonna be able to get back in." I was like, "Yeah, Lauren don't sleep through nothing." But I'm glad you sent me the code because apparently you was sleeping through stuff that day.
Yes. So when I woke my eyes, I'm like, oh, they left. Or let me send the code just in case I can't get up.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened, and then I started feeling a little bit better, and then I started sick again. So I went to bed again, and then the next day we were supposed to go to Bishop Arts, and I was really trying to like
I said
push
no,
through. Okay,
nope,
y'all,
nope,
because I
nope,
really
nope.
because
Mm-mm.
I already felt bad, so I was like, let me try to make it up to her. And the first few hours of that morning, it was still rough, but then I felt better because we went to
Went to get food.
biscuit
Biscuit
bar,
bar, yeah.
and then we got this nasty.
You got a nasty smoothie.
You made it.
I did.
Okay, I think it's the protein that made it
Yeah,
nasty. I feel like
think
if the
it was
protein wasn't in it,
powders.
but no, I appreciate Taylor because she was trying to help, and I appreciate Taylor because they were very nice and helpful and being very kind to me. But the thing is,
I was done with that drink, but that's fine.
we'll get it later.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I was feeling better. Like, by the time I got to the Bishop, I'm like, okay, maybe we can do the Bishop Art thing because
No.
I was feeling better, like, good enough to push through
I
it.
told her once I put on these other clothes, we're not going nowhere.
I asked her if she could think about it when she put the clothes on.
And I put the clothes on, so I mean I thought about it. That was my answer.
But I felt better. I'm like, well, maybe we can still do it. Because I did feel better for that rest of the day. And then on Monday, I felt sick again.
See? That's why. Like, you wasn't going to play with me.
I woke up, y'all, and I went to work for 30 minutes. And my TM wasn't even in, so I had to reach out to a whole other TM to do my life leave stuff. And I just didn't understand because I didn't really eat anything or nothing that night. Like, I literally just ate grapefruit and drank water. And I felt sick. I'm like, I don't understand. My body keep playing games with me. So Tuesday came, and I went to Kava because I was really getting hungry again.
Kava. Kava is so good.
It was good, but I need to try it again when I'm not sick. And it was my fault because I really wanted some cheese. When I got home, I added cheese on top of it, and that's what made my stomach.
Not you
That's what
added the
made.
cheese when you got home.
I did.
That's crazy.
That's what made
That's
my
actually
stomach
crazy.
feel really bad, and I felt sick again because she called and I was like, I
I
don't
could
feel
tell.
good again.
Yeah, I could tell she didn't feel good. Cause we usually talk on the phone before we go to bed. Like when I get off of work, cause I get off of work at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lauren, go to sleep. Just go to
Yeah.
sleep. Cause
I was
you
so
don't feel
mad. I was mad again. And I'm like, Tira's like, you need to go to the doctor tomorrow. So I ended up working stuff out. I didn't go. I just did like a teledoc through my job because it's free. So instead of paying out of pocket, I just called a doctor called me and we went over it. And by that time, I was already feeling better.
good. Just for
But
confirmation that what you're doing is correct.
yeah. So the first thing was like, don't eat pizza, don't eat steak, and I was like, well, I
I know
already did
not
the
to eat
pizza.
pizza, right?
But I actually went to the store. I got some oatmeal. I got some Gatorade, and that actually started making me feel real good because the water was not really helping because I was not replenishing all
Yeah.
the stuff I was losing, and I wasn't
Mhm.
eating. So I think also I wasn't feeling good either.
Yeah.
So I did all that. I felt better. Wednesday was a little rough, like 30 minutes, and then my body just kind of like was regulating, and I did what I needed to do. And then Thursday was cool, and now we're here.
It is Friday.
So
Because I told her, I'm like, if you don't feel better, then do not come over here. Stay
I
home,
made it.
please.
We're gonna get to the recording one way or another.
Oh my goodness.
Look, so I know that was a long story. I know I'm a very long-winded person, but I just wanted y'all to see how my week has been.
It was still a good weekend, though. I know Lauren feels like she ruined it, but it was still a good weekend. I'm just mad I won't get that money back. That's all.
No, I lost the money
that
too.
was the only thing I was mad about,
I lost the money too, y'all. So it is what it is. At this point, we can't go back in time, and I've learned my lesson. I threw those honey packs away. I will never be doing that ever again in my life. So yeah, that's what Lauren tried to do for fun, and it failed per usual.
Not per usual.
Every time I try to act silly and have
Oh
a
my
good time,
goodness.
something always happens. We were having fun, COVID happened. This happened.
Stop.
Everything just
Don't
happened.
think like that, Lauren.
I'm not thinking like that. That's the facts. That's the truth. I have evidence.
We've had fun and nothing weird has happened.
Yes, but when I'm trying to do something silly, like something that's out of the box, that's when things go bad. It never fails.
Anyway, I don't like her logic and how she thinks like that. But
Well, we can move on, y'all, to the queer facts, which Tiara is going to be talking about.
it's gonna be short because I don't have my notes. But Women's Equality Day is coming up. It's gonna be this Monday, August 26th. It needs to be on the calendar.
It's not on the calendar?
No, it's not on the calendar.
Oh.
So it needs to be on the calendar. But I didn't know we had a Women's Equality Day, and it's during my birthday month. So that's really cool. But yeah, so that's all. That's my fact for today.
All right, so we're going to go to the music segment. And I've actually thought about that. I thought it would be really cute to sing a childhood like song. Like it can be like a Disney song. It can be like it can be like a cartoon song.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want it to be.
Why are you like this? Why are you like this? I'll sing the song that my mom sang to me as a kid, and she said this would crack me up all the time. It's actually the Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Oh, that's so
It's very simple, and I'm not gonna sing the whole song because we didn't discuss doing all this. I don't sing. Lauren sings, and she want everybody else to sing. We don't want to be doing all that. We don't want to be doing all that.
I like to hear other people sing too. I want to be the only one that sings.
We can't sing.
Oh.
Not the South.
I still want to hear.
But my mom, she would go like, And I don't know why this made me crack up. And she does this to me today, and I still crack up about it, and it makes me mad because I'm like, why is this instilling me to laugh? I don't understand. But she go, the itsy bitsy spider goes up the water spout, down comes the rain, and then she would like shake me, wash
so
the
cute.
spider out, and I would laugh because she would shake me. And then out comes the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider goes down the spout again. Up the spout.
It's one of those.
One of those. But as an adult, she'll like literally like she'll do this to me,
Aw.
and I'm just like, stop. I don't know why I laugh at that every time. So there you go.
Oh, I'm gonna sing
You're
Elmo.
annoying. You're annoying.
Not what he was singing, but it's okay.
That's what you're gonna get out of me.
I think I'm gonna sing Elmo. I don't know all the Elmo words.
Elmo?
Yeah, cause all my little niece and nephew like Elmo.
That is very true. The kids today love them some Elmo.
They do.
We thought we love Elmo. They love Elmo.
They do.
It's so cute.
It is very cute. I got one of my friend's kids, the like an animal, like a Elmo stuffed animal. That was her favorite gift, and she kept wanting it back. She didn't want the clothes I got her, the shoes.
That is so
She just
cute.
wanted the Elmo, and her party was like an Elmo thing,
That's
so it
adorable.
was very cute. Oh, what's the song? La 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 la. Elmo's World.
That was my show. Oh my gosh, I loved Elmo.
It was so cute. But yes, y'all, that's my little song I'm singing this week. It's Elmo. If y'all have kids, I know y'all probably tired of hearing that song.
I'm screaming.
But-
Not tired of it.
But look, you know I love the kiddos. All right. So I guess we're gonna go to the dating advice. Were you gonna do that, or did you want me to do it? I don't
Yeah, you can do it.
know. Okay.
How you interpreted that?
Okay. Well, basically, like what we have in our notes is that when it comes to dating, you should speak up and not let people that don't respect your boundaries around you. So if you tell somebody don't call me after 8, and they keep calling you after 8 o'clock, it's just time to block them.
Lauren is the queen of the block button. She will block anybody for any reason. You be blocking.
Why am I gonna waste time with you? Too many people like to just entertain silliness and then get mad when it don't work out in their favor.
You right?
And it's like you just like the dysfunction that come with it. That's what you like.
You right? You're actually correct. Yes.
So I'm gonna block you. You're taking up space that I could have made for myself or somebody else.
Fact.
And then once I'm done with you, I'm just done with you.
Lauren
So-
is very like zero tolerance. Very zero tolerance.
But because I do give a lot of chances though. That's the thing. But when it comes, I do. When it comes to like long term friendships, I give a lot of chances.
That is true.
But
That is
if
true.
I just met you and I don't like you, I'm done with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna check for you.
It does depend. It does depend where people fall in your life.
It does, yeah.
Of how many chances they get. So I get that.
Because not everybody be getting a lot of chances.
Yeah, that's very.
Some
true.
people get 0.
And some people get infinity.
You know what? Look, when it comes to me, it just once again it depends on the relationship that we have, how I feel about it. If I feel like this is worth saving or not.
Yeah, and I respect that. I respect you for that. Like, because there's a lot of people that I feel like will throw long-term friendships away, but will give a silly person they dating 10,000 chances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's really silly to me, actually.
Yep, it is silly. And
So.
then try to spin the block because that person didn't work out. Absolutely not. Bye. Peace.
And don't be nobody's second choice. It's
Please
second option.
don't.
Especially if you know you're their second choice. Please run. Run fast and far.
Run, hurry. You better put those track shoes on and run in the opposite direction.
No, for real. Because that's wild.
Because they're not going to value you the way you deserve to be valued.
Mm-mm.
So find somebody who loves you for you, and you don't have to guess and wonder, because you will know.
But yeah, that's something else you have taught me. I don't know why this has turned into things that we've taught each other, but is that when someone really likes you, it is very easy to tell.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to guess. If you have to sit and guess, then they probably don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Or they're not in a space to commit to you in the way that you want to commit.
mhm.
So
And that's in all relationships, not just dating. That's in
yeah.
all relationships. If
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep guessing where you stand with a person, then you can have a sit down conversation with that person and be transparent and be like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know where I stand with you. But if it's you still don't feel good after that
It's
conversation,
time to just
yeah, it's
cut
time to go.
ties. Snip, snip.
Cutting off and blocking is Lauren's favorite thing to do.
Because I don't look. I'm not trying to
Low
be
key, I be
mean.
cutting off people too. I cut off people fast.
She'll go off on you. I'll just cut you off in silence. She'll give you a word of mouth. It did cut you off.
Goodness.
I'll just say it's not working and bye. I'm not gonna argue with you. If I'm arguing with you, that means there's been other things that you have done that piss me off.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
bad. Pretty bad.
now I'm gonna go to sleep.
Going to sleep is crazy. Going to sleep is crazy.
That drained me.
That is hilarious. But yes, our dating advice, which kind of goes into our topic.
It
I'll let Lauren introduce our topic. But yes, our dating advice is have boundaries, and if someone oversteps them, do not feel bad about cutting them off, calling them out
Mm.
on them overstepping your boundaries. And if they continue to do it after you call them out, then it's just time
to
for that
go.
person to be removed from your life.
Mm.
And that's in all things, dating, friendships, all things.
I agree. Well, if you listen to like our older podcasts, we've actually talked about this, but a lot. I think our perspectives have changed the older we've gotten, and today we're gonna talk again about polygamous polygamy. Is it no?
Poly and monogamous
Yes.
dynamics. Yes.
Yeah, those are two different words, y'all. Let me make sure I say that correctly. Then we're gonna talk about poly and monogamous relationships. If you can guess which one applies to which, put it also in the comment below.
I'm screaming.
To see if y'all been paying attention. We talked about it a little bit. We sprinkled it in some other previous episodes.
That is true. We have sprinkled it.
But yes, Tiara can start off with this one because, yeah.
Well, it's funny because I am poly, but me working my way up to finding out I am a poly person came from me being unhappy in monogamous relationships. So, um,
Sorry,
what is
y'all.
going on? I don't know if y'all can hear the
ambulance.
Yes, the ambulance, the police, the speeding motorcycles that be speeding. Too many people speed over here. That'd be irritating me.
Later.
But me being in monogamous relationships, like the start of them would be really fun, and then it would get to a point where I just felt like really stagnant with that person. Not that I didn't like them anymore, but I'm like, okay, it was cool exploring you, and it's like when I got the opportunity to like explore different people, I would take it. And like I'm not saying it's right to cheat on your partner, but for me, I was like I feel like after my second like really serious relationship, I was like, dang, am I just gonna sit here and like cheat on everybody? Because it's like I like being with my partner, but I also like exploring other people. So I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna be single for the rest of my life because I just don't want to be in that relationship dynamic anymore. And so then I started learning more about like poly relationships and just for me, I feel like poly means something different for everybody. For me, it is giving me the freedom to like have my relationships, like my romantic relationships with people, and getting to learn different people in the way that I feel comfortable with because I do believe you can love multiple people. Like we have multiple friends, we have multiple family members. It's not like we just are like we have this one family member and this one friend.
Mm.
So, but I get like when it comes to the romantic dynamic, some people can't handle having multiple romantic partners. I'm not in any way being like everybody needs to be poly because that's a really big commitment and it's like it's a lot emotionally and it's something that you definitely have to be ready for before you do. And that's why I'm taking a break from dating because it's gonna be a lot when I do have like a relationship with somebody and I start exploring another relationship with somebody. And I know that's just gonna be a lot. So I like having the freedom to have whatever relationship I want with people and if it turns romantic, it just turns romantic. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I like feeling like I'm not hurting somebody by exploring my romantic connection with someone else. So that's how it feels for me. And Lauren is monogamous, 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 monogamous.
Y'all, I
It's
live.
cute though. I think it's very sweet because Lauren has shown me like what it looks like for someone to really like be all in with you. And I think that's really cool and it's really sweet. And I would love to see that being reciprocated towards you because I've seen you give it to somebody but that not being reciprocated. But I think it's really sweet.
For me, like, we've gone back and forth talking about being monogamous and poly and all that. And I think it's just interesting because I have not been in a lot of really any long term relationships, like
But you've been
committed.
in polydynamics. That's the
Yes.
funny thing.
Yes, I've never been in like a committed long term relationship, but I have been in a lot of like side piece poly dynamics. But when you're young, you don't really see it in that way. You just see it as, oh, I'm just messing around with somebody here and there, and everything's been emotional. Like, for those experiences that I feel like I have been in for the most part, it was just me being that emotional pillow for that woman per se, and she still had that man on the side, and I didn't really care because at that time I was not looking to be in a committed relationship anyway. So it kind of worked out in a way. But when I do like a person, I am focused only on that person. Like, I don't feel the need for me to explore other people, but also the type that I have, like, that I'm attracted to, is I have that in my friendships as well. So I don't know if that perspective would have changed if it was very different. But for me, it's like I'm getting what I want in all my dynamics. There's no need for me to explore something else. And I'm just I feel like my loyalty is just very strong. So I don't, there's only been like a few situations where I could potentially not be monogamous, but for the most part, yes, I am a monogamous person. I'm okay with being committed to one person.
And loyalty is also and I don't want people to think that like poly means that you're not loyal, you don't know how to commit. Like that's not what that means to me because I'm a very loyal person too.
Yes, you are.
And I have two very like long term friendships, Lauren and my other friend Devin, and that's like saying I have to choose one of them.
And
so
I didn't mean it in that
yeah.
way to say that
Yeah,
you're not a
I know
loyal
you didn't mean it
person.
in that way, but I know some people think that poly people aren't loyal and poly people don't know how to commit, and that's why they're poly. And it's like, no, like I just want to have the freedom to explore my relationships with people, and if it turns romantic with three people, that's just what it was, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'm tired. I be giving too much for just one person. So having three people,
And your friendships, and your family dynamics, and your other.
I feel like if I was gonna be like, for whatever reason, if I ended up in a poly dynamic, I could do two people at the most, and that's it. I don't think it can go past that because I also want kids too. So that would be a lot to juggle, especially if they have blended family. That's a lot to explain as well. So that's the type of stuff I do think about. But for me, like I said, I'm fine with just one person. I'm okay with that.
Hey y'all, this is an unintentional part two because these mics are new and I didn't charge them. So they died.
Yeah.
So this is part two of our poly monogamous episode, like the pros and cons of them, and
Our experiences and how we feel about it and all that. So,
um, well, Lauren left off by explaining why she feels better in monogamy, and we're basically saying that like I've experienced a lot of monogamous relationships, and that's how I figured out that just wasn't for me. And now I identify as being poly, while she's experienced a lot of poly dynamics,
yeah.
and she's just like, yeah, monogamy is definitely for me. Like that poly stuff is just not for me at all. But we also wanted to talk about the pros and cons of both of them. So let's start with monogamous pros and cons. So, what are some pros and cons that you have for monogamy?
I think for me, a pro is that it's easier for me because I'm just focused on that one person and I don't have to sit there and kind of like think about, well, how am I going to I got to sit here and be emotional in this way with one person. I got to turn around next week and cater to somebody else in a different way. So that kind of would be a little bit stressful for me in trying to adapt to two different personalities and also trying to meet their needs in whatever way we establish that. So that would be a pro for me. And then I think a con is also it kind of backfires in a way because it's like you're that one person who's meeting everybody's needs in that relationship outside of like of course you have your friendships and you should have your friendships and family and other like friendships and all that, but at the end of the day you're still the center person, the main person of that who that person is expecting their needs to be met from you in a romantic way. So it kind of like plays out in that type of dynamic, I'd say.
So that's like a pro and con thing.
Yes.
And I agree with that I agree with that being a pro and a con because that's something I also didn't like about being in monogamous relationships is like this person wants me to be their everything, and I like that in poly you don't necessarily have to be that person's everything. They can get different things out of the different people in their lives without making you feel like you have to give everything. So I do like that dynamic, and I feel like that's like a pro of being poly is that you don't have to be the everything for that one person. But yeah, I do agree with the con, and I feel like the pros of monogamy are kind of like the cons of poly, and
I was
vice
gonna say
versa.
that too because when I was experiencing the poly dynamic, I did
Mhm.
like how I didn't have to meet any of the physicality needs. I was just the emotional need, and that
Yeah.
made it a lot easier on me because she wasn't coming at me for trying to meet this need and that need. There was somebody else to do all that, so all I
Right.
had to do was what I knew I was good at.
Yeah.
But I will say, also being in a monogamous situation, it challenges you to
Mhm.
kind of like, and I don't just say this is in monogamy, like this could be in any type of dynamic, but I will say it really challenges you because it forces you to really make sure you're prioritizing yourself still, making sure that you're not stretching yourself thin, and also just making sure that you're staying on top of your boundaries and communication. I know it's the same thing for poly as well, but
Mhm.
once again, when there's sometimes I feel like if you already know there's multiple people, sometimes you don't have to think about it as much versus you being in a monogamous situation where it's like it's only us two, so I really have to make sure I'm still setting time for me and myself too.
Yeah. I think that's important, no matter what dynamic that you fall into, to take the time to still date yourself and pour into yourself because it's hard to pour into other people when you can't pour into yourself.
Yes. So,
And are there, would you say there are any more like pros and cons to monogamy? I feel like I have a
um,
bunch of cons. That's why.
I know your list of cons is like really long. I don't, and that's why I say like said in the other video we did yesterday. I haven't been in a lot of relationships to really. I feel like
Test and
see,
see.
yes, but just from the experiences that I have been, I will say when I was doing my toxic poly dynamics, it it was fun, but at the same time, I knew that dynamic worked for me because I wasn't looking for anything serious. I wasn't looking for a commitment. I knew I was not in a place to be in a relationship. So I was just out. Peace. I had my little semester fun things and I left. So but yeah, that and I feel like my list is not really long as well because it just depends on the people you interact with that determines how that relationship is going to go. So one thing that might have worked for another person might not work for X, Y, and Z, or y'all just were not compatible. So that's why it's a con for you. So I think sometimes people just pull different sides out of you, and you just kind of see if this is gonna work or not. Yeah. So that's why my list is really a case by case.
I feel like the pros of poly is just being able, because you can do this in monogamous relationships too, but whatever like rules or however you structure your relationship in monogamy, it's just we can't you can't push it that far because it's just between you and one other person. But I feel like with poly, you can really kind of like push the rules and push the boundaries with certain things. Like for me, I wouldn't want to necessarily live with any of my partners, but I would like for us to like have sleepovers essentially. And I do think a con of poly is having to schedule things because as adults, like you just
You're already
and
busy.
knowing that it's not like I can just pop up and surprise you because you might be on like a date with someone else or you just somebody else might be over there. So I do think that is like a con of poly of having to like plan things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can't be as spontaneous. And I'm not saying you can't, like you can't, but for me, call me first, text me first. Do not just show up.
I feel like yeah, it don't matter what you're doing. You call because I might not even want nobody there. I might want to be by myself.
Shoot. But I feel like at least with a monogamous relationship, you know that you're either gonna show up and that person's not gonna answer the door. It's not like somebody else is gonna answer the door and you're like, who's this?
I mean, yeah. But I feel like timing is just of the essence. Like you just have to really be diligent about the timing, and I would suggest take notes, write it down so you don't forget. Like I know that sounds crazy, but when you're dealing with multiple people, sometimes you just gotta really separate, make an Excel sheet. Shoot, I don't know, like
Yeah.
like do what you gotta do. And I don't feel like you can't. I feel like you still can be spontaneous. You just gotta approach it a different way. Like instead of saying like yeah, they might know you're coming, but they might not know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Or just tell them to wear this and this, or are you free on this day because of this and this and this. I feel like you still can be spontaneous. You just gotta work around it a little bit.
Yeah. So I feel like that is like a con. And
because I feel like for me the timing like wouldn't be bad. Like I feel like I'll be fine with that.
yeah.
But I feel like for me it's just I go hard for people, so
She really
I
does.
feel like I would unintentionally run myself in.
Yeah, because you're gonna try to like make sure you give, and that too. I don't know if I would call this a pro or con, but you have to know and understand. You can try to like split your time evenly between people, but we know that's just not practical in the real world. So you might um you gotta walk by. If you gotta walk by, that's fine. We can cut it out. um I gotta restart my thought.
uh, you were talking about
Look at Luke. Luke looks just shocked. He always be looking shook.
oh, you're talking about stretching yourself thin.
Okay, so yo, okay, yes, I do think that like you might spend more time with one person than another person, and also depending on distance, like if you're dating long distance or not. But I feel like I would do the best I can to spread myself evenly,
Mm.
but that's why for me, I feel like my max would be three, no more than three, because I feel like I would start stretching myself thin if it's more than three people, and I feel like three is kind of pushing
Yeah,
it.
especially if people start getting close and they want more time with you, they want more of
Hmm.
you, or they realize poly's just not for them at all,
Yeah,
and they're trying to work something out to where it just once again, I think like yes, that there is a beauty of poly. You have more room to be creative with how you want to structure the relationship, but that
yeah,
also can change.
yeah,
It's whatever you set in stone is not in stone.
yeah. I feel like with
So
monogamy, you can set things more like in stone, but I feel like with poly, you have to be kind of more fluid
you.
because you're dealing with more than two people's relationships and feelings and things.
Mm.
So, um, I had another thought and I just lost it. I see the fish.
Yes.
The fish are distracting me. But I do think there's a beauty in like being able to spend your time with different people and having different people bring different sides out of you. But something else about poly that I don't want to call this a con, but I guess I'll call it a con, is one partner, you could have an argument with one partner, be great on great terms with another partner, and maybe one of your other partners is going through like something or going through a breakup. So like, or you could have a really great date with somebody, and then you can come home and call your other partner, and they're like distraught or mad or sad or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I feel like dealing with that is just like okay. Like I want to call you and tell you about this great date I went on, but you're going through something, so let's get through that first.
Just navigating your emotions
Hmm.
and trying to learn how to adapt and cater to what that person needs at that time.
Yeah.
And I think also before you jump into any type of relationship, you got to make sure that you are doing good as an individual
Hmm.
and make sure that you know how to follow your own boundaries with yourself. Because if
Yes.
you're not good with that, it's only going to get worse when you include more people,
Yes.
whether that's one or however many you choose.
And a disclaimer for everybody that's coming out as poly.
Yeah.
It's not just for sex. Like you have to deal with other people's emotions, other people's feelings, other people's schedules, take people making sure you're carving out time to take people on dates and to spend time with them and love them through their whatever their love language is. You could have a partner that has a totally different love language than someone else. So I feel like when some people they're like, oh, people are just poly because they want to have sex with a bunch of people. No.
That's not really poly to me. Man. I
Yeah.
think that's more of like an open.
Open or you just being single.
Yeah.
Just like if you want to have sex with a bunch of people, just be single. Like you don't have to be poly or open to just have
Yeah.
sex with people. I feel like people that just want to have sex, just be single.
Hmm. If you want to have
That's
fun,
the
that's
least
fine.
complicated way you can do that.
You know, without
So,
thinking you have to commit just to get what you want out of a
hmm
person. That's not okay.
hmm so I mean, yeah, like having sex with multiple people is a part of poly, but it's not.
Mm,
It's such a small piece of it. To me,
yes.
it's such a small piece.
Because there's a whole umbrella when it comes to poly. Like there's
Yes, there's a
different
lot of
categories
terms.
within poly. So
Hmm.
I just feel like that, like you were saying, if you are gonna do poly, then from how you were explaining it for how you would
Yeah,
want it to work for you. Because I know once again it differs per
yeah,
person, but for you it would actually be like a romantic relationship, not
hmm
just a kind of quick fix in here and then you going back home.
right, yeah. So I do think I like poly because I like the relationship structure of it
Hmm.
and the freedom to kind of like do what I want to do. But that also doesn't mean I'm not being honest. I'm not being transparent. I'm not having conversations. Like I'm still doing all those things, but it's also like if I go on vacation and meet somebody, I don't feel bad about being romantic with that person. So that's how I see it, and that's how it's structured for me. I know everyone that's poly, they have like a different relationship structure of how they like things. Some people like to have like a primary partner that they live with, and other partners that they still date, they still are close with them, but maybe they don't like necessarily live with them. So people have different, and there are some polydynamics. They all live together, and they call themselves like a polycule. So it just kind of, it's really up to you, and that's something I really like about it. Like it's up to you. It's what you make it.
I think people need to know what they want first before they jumping into stuff. Because a
That
lot of
too.
people just, I will say, I think poly unfortunately has become more of a trend lately.
I
And
agree.
people are just saying they're poly. My thing, if you don't just, I'd rather you just say, I'm trying to see if I like it, than you just claiming that you
Mhm.
are something.
Mhm.
Because if you don't really like this, and once again, it's fine to say you're not, but
Yeah.
don't just be doing something because everybody else doing it. Do it because you have the right intentions.
Or just be honest and say, hey, I think I would like this structure, but I don't really know, so I just want to try it.
Yeah.
And there are people that are open to just trying things with people. You never know until you're honest and you talk about it, and y'all kind of come to that same understanding. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people try to like lie or be dishonest or withhold information because they feel like they're not going to get what they want if they're honest. And
Mm.
that's not completely true. And if you are honest with that person and you don't get what you want, then you didn't need to do that with that person in the first place.
Yeah. We have a guest, y'all.
We're recording part two where I reside at the moment. So my dogs are here. Now Luke is actually chilling, but Princess came downstairs.
That's what all that noise was, y'all. She said, "What was that?" And she wanted to see. But yeah, I just feel like the issue is not so much that people have a different way of how they want to navigate the relationships. It's just too many people that don't know what they want and
Yeah.
just all are very unstable, just all over the place. So it makes it very confusing and just very concerning to even partake in any type of dynamic or like relationship
Yeah.
with you. So, hey guys, as you can see, we're still trying to finish this polymonogamous episode.
This is part three.
Yes, the
Unintentionally, the final of our poly episode talking about a monogamous topic.
Oh, y'all, we've been ripping and running. We've been busy, so
Very.
we finally had time to finish this. But we're just gonna kind of pick up where we kind of left off in part two, and I think we're just gonna jump into the type of conversations that you could potentially have with someone that either wants to explore multiple people or people that do not want to explore multiple people. But if you were in a situation where you were in a monogamous situation, but you decided you want to start exploring people, how would you present that conversation to your partner?
I feel like I would present it. I like to make sure that person feels safe. So if they feel better having like conversations at home, or like maybe we go on a hike or something and we have that conversation, like for one, planning the environment is important because you want the person to talk to you, you want them to open up, and I feel like them being in a safe environment is step one to them actually like talking and opening up. And I'll probably give my reasons of why I want to open the relationship again, or like just be poly. So maybe they don't want to date other people, but I want to date other people. So I mean that's how I would do it. And then like if the answer is like I just want to be monogamous, then the decision's kind of on me to like end the relationship or not. I feel like,
Because I feel like for people who are monogamous and they're used to being with one person, I feel like sometimes people think that you want to be poly because the sex isn't good or because
yeah,
they're not doing something good enough and that's why you want to see other people.
yeah,
I think that's like sometimes messes with people's egos and thinking they're not good enough.
yeah.
So how do you think you would like break that down if they were asking, "Are you want to do this because I'm not doing something right?"
It's not that that person's not doing something right. It's that different people bring different things out of me. And maybe I enjoy what you bring out of me, but maybe there's a new side of myself I would like to discover. and like that's okay that you don't bring all of my sides out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that would just be a really tough conversation to have with somebody because it's like borderline like we're breaking up basically.
Yeah.
So it's really just kind of laying everything out there and then just doing the best with the information that comes out. Because at the end of the day, if that person still wants to be monogamous, then I have a decision to make. And if that person accepts wanting to like open a relationship or be poly again, then now we have to talk about our new dynamic of having this open relationship or poly relationship.
And how that would look, especially if they didn't see this coming and giving them time to like process the information.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how long do you think? Like, do you think there should be a time frame of how long they process the information?
I feel like since I've been, if this is a person I've been dating, I kind of understand how long it takes them to process information. I feel like that's a case by case thing. I don't think that's like a general number.
Like, are you? And by I mean that question in the sense of like, are you in a rush to start dating other people? Like, by the time you have this conversation, like, are you at that point wanting to go ahead and just start dating other people?
I feel like this is very circumstantial.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
I feel like it's very circumstantial because in this hypothetical situation, Lauren loves her some hypotheticals. In this hypothetical situation, like, what was the reason I'm wanting to open a relationship again?
Yeah.
And I think based on that reasoning is my answer of whether I want to immediately start dating people or just be like, hey, this is a warning. Like, this is what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So, and I also feel like, again, like, it just depends who that person is. Because if I know they're a person that, I don't want to say like impulsive versus not impulsive, because I feel like it would be better for me to have that conversation where I can give them ample and adequate time to like process everything. Because having that conversation and they agree, and then 3 days later, I'm like, hey, I'm going on a date. Like,
it makes you think you already.
Yeah, like I feel like that would like mess with that person because when I do things, I think about how I would feel if someone did it to me.
Yeah.
So if someone was like, let's say we're in a monogamous relationship for 2 years, and then they say, hey, I want to open a relationship. And I'm like, yeah, cool, we can do that. And then 3 days later, they're talking about going on a date.
Yeah, you already cheated.
That was fast.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, no. Like, I don't think it would be something fast. But it would definitely be taking that time to like make sure my partner, yes, is still a yes, and just laying down the new boundaries and foundation of us opening the relationship again. Because there is a dynamic in poly where you can choose to be monogamous with that person for a certain amount of time, and then one day you're like, okay, like either like I met somebody, and if it's because I met somebody, I'm just be honest that I met somebody. So either you met somebody or you just want to start dating again. Like, I think you should just be honest about your intentions on wanting to open the relationship.
Okay. I agree. I think that's a good point to bring up. But I feel
Lauren wants to drill me today.
No, because I'm not trying to drill you, but I'm just saying these are real like possible situations.
Yeah.
That especially if your partner didn't see it coming out of nowhere. Because for me, I can tell when somebody is getting bored or somebody is wanting more than what I can offer.
Yeah.
And I'm just around very open-minded people that even if they don't say nothing, I can see it in how they look at other people and how they feel sometimes about other people. So I'm just gonna go ahead and initiate it. Like, let's take the Band-Aid off. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and wait for you to ask. Now, I don't say that in a way of like I'm gonna force the conversation, but I'm just gonna at least initiate it. And like, if you don't want to talk about it right now, or maybe some people might be afraid to admit that they want to be with multiple people.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna I'm gonna have my little questions, and I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But you can just if you've known a person for a long time, you can just tell.
Like if you really know that person, you can tell by their mannerisms. You can tell by their facial expressions of how they say certain things. So
I'm just like, oh, you think they're cute? I'm just gonna go ahead and just say it.
That is so funny.
Because
but you know that you really like Lauren is really good at like studying and reading people, and not like in a weird like creepy way, but even if we get on the phone and I'm like, hey girl, like I'm sad or something, and maybe it's like me trying to not sound sad, but she already knows.
Yeah, because her tone was very like,
yeah,
you can just tell.
And sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call Lauren. I don't feel like talking about this. Like I don't feel like going into why I'm upset today. So I'll call you and try to like cover it, and you still know. So there's no hiding nothing from you. Just nothing at all. But yeah, like I just feel like the longer you know a person, the more you understand how they take like bad, disappointing, or just news that means it's going to change your dynamic.
I know I've improved a lot because before I was just really shut down.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to talk no more. I just want my space.
Yeah.
But I feel like now I've gotten better to the point where it's like, okay, well, give me a minute. Like I still need a moment to myself, but we can talk about it. And these are the difficult parts about relationships that it seems like people just want to skip and disregard, but
you have to have conversations.
You have to have difficult conversations, even if it's not about being poly or monogamous, and it's just about wanting to communicate better, or you're not happy. You have to learn how to communicate, and a lot of people don't know how to communicate, but they want these relationships.
You have to know how to have difficult conversations and be okay having difficult conversations, because I feel like a lot of people, they feel like they're not happy in their relationship, and instead of just like having a conversation with their partner that I'm not happy, you go and do behavior that you know is kind of like self-destructive and is going to destroy your relationship, and then now it's this whole big toxic mess when you could have just had a conversation with your partner and just said, hey, I'm not happy, and then through that dialogue y'all probably could have came up with a solution versus someone like blowing up the relationship.
And if you just wanted to break up, you still should just had a conversation.
Yeah.
And just ended it on a peaceful note. That way it's not being horrible. So
I've ended most of my relationships in a very toxic way, and it's just exhausting. And I don't through my like going through relationships now, when I do choose to date again, I do want to learn how to end relationships cordially. And I feel like I've done a good job of doing that so far, because a year ago I had to end a friendship and I feel like it ended cordially. So, and I feel like that's the first relationship that I really like got to know that person for a couple of years, and then it's not like we like ghosted each other or anything. It's just we had a conversation and it was just done. So I don't want to continue ending relationships in my life on a toxic note.
And ending a relationship does not always mean that person was bad or this and that. Sometimes things just don't work out in the way that you thought it would.
Yeah. Like there's no, in the relationship I recently ended, there's no bad person. It's just we didn't agree on things, and so we were just like, well, I think it's best we just part ways, and that's just what it was. So,
yeah. Well, how do you feel about, I know we've talked about this in a previous episode, but bringing the contracts into a poly dynamic?
The good old contracts. So, I think it is a good idea. I'm not a person that wants to get married, but I would feel more comfortable being like, okay, like we're going to spend the majority of our lives together, and I'm cool with that, and you're cool with that, then I think bringing out a contract will be cool. But if I'm just dating somebody,
I do want to have a contract, but I feel like with just dating, a verbal contract is cool. But if we're getting to the point where it's like, where like I feel like monogamous people get to a point where they want to get married, I feel like my point would be, okay, let's have a contract with each other. Because that's all marriage is. Don't come for me in the comments. Marriage is really a contract. Yes, it's all the other things people say marriage is, a commitment to each other and everything. But it is also a contract. So I think I would just have my contract with that person and we can just go on about our lives together. Like, I feel like that's how marriage is for me. So that's how I feel about it.
I I feel like there would be like only a few situations where I could possibly do poly. Like it. I feel like it would be easier for me to enter into one. That's just how I've always done it. I've always, even if it was not in they always.
So entering a relationship
already established relationship.
Yes. So you're the third person. Yeah. Got you.
I think that would be the easiest option for me.
Do the genders matter?
In what way?
Would you be okay with like a relationship with two women, a woman and a man? Doesn't matter.
I feel like if it was between a man and a woman, which most of them have been in that way, I'm not doing nothing with a man. Like, we can be friends. Like, we can be cool, yeah. But I would just more so be in that dynamic for the woman, not for him. Yeah. But I would want, if I was in that situation, I want to do better with that, of letting the man know I'm in the picture instead of me being a secret and him not knowing at all. Yeah. So I would want to do things in a better way. I think all my colleagues have been very toxic and not good examples. Mm. So I would want that man to know, like, look, I'm in the picture. Yeah. Your wife or your girlfriend, whatever, came on to me or whatever situation. Well, cause I would be minding my business, y'all.
So you would like to have like a meeting between everybody.
Yes.
So everybody kind of knows the dynamic and knows what's going on.
Yes, and that too, and that I feel like the reason open I don't think would be good for me is because I don't do well with casual. Yeah. I do not like casual relationships, y'all, at all. Yeah. So I think for me, at least with the poly dynamic, I want the man to understand that I am seriously invested in her. Like, we both are. Like, I don't want it to be like we're fighting over.
Like a competition.
Just because I feel like, too, like when I'm in situations where, even if I'm not dating this person or I'm just trying to be helpful to a woman, sometimes it feels like, I feel like men look at me as a competition, like I'm trying to take their partner or I'm trying to make them feel less than a man because she asked me for help versus him. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just trying to be a genuine person.
It's like an ego thing.
Yes. And I'm not trying to mess with his ego or anything. Like, if she asks for help, I'm going to try my best. Yeah. And if I don't know, like, okay. But I'm not coming in there trying to say, woo-hoo, I done stole her. So I don't want it to feel like we're trying to compete over her. Yeah. So that's all. Because I think some men think, oh, when another woman's involved, it's not as serious, or they just look at it like you just fetishize them. So I don't want that type of energy at all.
You want everyone to understand, like, this is like a genuine relationship.
Yes. Yeah. So
do you think you could date two women? Like two women being in a relationship and you're like a third?
I don't know. I feel like I could, but I think it would kind of be kind of weird because, like, once again, I've never experienced that, which is crazy, y'all. I know that sounds crazy, but I've never been in a situation where it's been. I've never really liked a lesbian either. I know that sounds crazy. I've liked bisexual women, I've liked straight women, but I'm really trying to think of a time where I really, really liked a lesbian or just a woman who I knew dating another woman. I don't think I've experienced that.
masculine women that date straight women is a conversation that we don't have enough time to have right now.
We don't.
But I love that. I love that conversation because me and Lauren have this conversation sometimes, and it's something I genuinely don't understand. But
yeah, we're gonna, cause y'all,
it's too much.
She formulated a picture, and I need to explain myself. So we're gonna talk about this in another episode because I know it sounds like I'm a stereotypical person, and that's not what it is, y'all. So we're gonna continue.
But the thing is, a lot of masculine women feel that way when it comes to straight women.
But I'm not. I don't sit there and ask, "Oh, are you gay? Are you?"
Yeah.
If I like you, I just like you, and we just kind of go from there. It's not me solely looking for a straight woman. Some
I feel like there's two categories.
Yeah, some really do. They like the challenge. They like the chase.
Yeah.
Even though she gonna hurt you for the most part.
Yeah, it's like you go not knowing that, and you just.
And I'm not saying that's everybody, but most people, we all know how it goes if we've been through that situation. Mm-hmm. But I'm not that type of woman that it's just, I need a straight. If I like you, I just like you. If you happen to be straight, you've never dated a woman, then that's just what it is.
Yeah. Then she giving them a chance.
Yeah.
That's so nice of you.
Anyway. But I mean, I think I could date a woman if she was dating a woman. I think it was just the energy would have to be
so
right.
Would you date both of the women, or would you mainly just date one of the
Probably
women?
just one.
So you just still like one is enough. Got you.
I don't know if I feel like if I was gonna date two women, like
that sounds like a lot. For you, it sounds like a lot because you're someone that you wanna live with your partner and you wanna have kids and that's another thing.
She's here to not want children.
I don't want children. And kudos to the poly people out there that are poly and have kids, because I know kids complicate monogamous people's relationships. So I have no answers on being poly with kids. I don't want kids. I don't desire kids. I don't date people with kids. So I'm not a person to ask for all that. But yeah, you're someone that really likes to come home to somebody, come home to your family, not really having to split that energy between two people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, being poly with children is something like I've kind of thought about in certain situations and circumstances, but I would just prefer to be monogamous. That's why I say poly is not something that I hate or that I'm like 100% against. I just feel like it's not necessary for me.
Yeah.
I feel like if the whole poly thing came up, it would be because of my partner, not because of me. If that makes sense. So, but I don't think I would be surprised if my partner brought it up. I'm like, okay.
I think she would be surprised how like okay you would to. Well, how open you would be to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna be like, to be honest, I already knew. I was waiting for this conversation, so.
Not I already knew. I think for me, I've been in mostly like long-term monogamous relationships, like 4 or 5 years of being with people, monogamously. Because I feel like I just get to a point where I'm like, I like you, I think you're cool, but I also don't want to like get married. But also, I want to explore other people. Like I still want to be with you, but I want that freedom to like explore other people. And so, I feel like poly for me is necessary. Because I've tried monogamy and it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that like, I really love and value my space because I've been single for a much shorter time than I've been in a relationship. I was in a constant relationship between the ages of 15 and 24, I want to say.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's nearly like 10 years of like constantly being in a relationship because I was in a 5-year relationship and then I broke up with that person. It was a really, really toxic, messy breakup. And literally a month later, I started dating someone else and we were together for 4 years. So I'm really just enjoying the time being with myself, being single. And then when I do go out and date again, my ideal dynamic, and I don't know if we've talked about this in like a previous segment, but my ideal dynamic is me having my own space.
Mm-hmm.
And we have sleepovers and we have dates and we go on trips together. And I would like for my partners to like get along with each other. They don't have to date each other too, but I would like them to get along. So we go like on group dates and things like that. So that would be my ideal dynamic. And for whatever reason, if my partner was like, let's live together, and I'm like, sure.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be a 4-bedroom home. 1 bedroom for me, 1 bedroom for them, a shared bedroom for the both of us, and then like an office. That's how I would break up the rooms in that house. So, and I feel like even for me to have children, for one, I would only have children with a woman, and that woman would have to be the most special woman on planet Earth to talk me into having children.
Yeah.
And if we were to have children, then I would still need my own room. I guess we just buying a mansion at that point because I need my own space. I need my own room. The kids wouldn't even know what the inside of that room looked like. They just wouldn't. But I just, for my sanity and my peace, and like growing up having siblings, and growing up like living with other people and not really having my own space, like once I have my own space, I don't want nobody in it.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. So I'm not a person that has kids because people think I don't like my kids, and it's not that. I like my peace more. That's just the truth. I like my peace more.
Well, at least you're being honest, because a lot of people are not honest.
Yeah.
So I get that. I respect that.
And I would not be that parent where they can, because people are like, oh, I can't, me and my kids are having a hard time because like they're trying to train their kids to sleep in their own bed because they've always slept in bed with them, which I think is sweet. And I was that kid too. I always want to sleep in bed with my parents. I was definitely that kid. But that would not be like I feel like that wouldn't be my dynamic if I had a kid. Like my kid would have always slept in their bed. I don't think they're like, oh, y'all slept with y'all parents. I don't think that would be my child's story at all. You would think I'm not, like, and I'm a very affectionate person, but also I just like my space.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. I like my space.
I'm very selective, affectionately, and I like my space.
I feel like,
but I think with children, I know
yes.
children's gonna bring that. They're gonna pull that affection side out of me. I already know it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Lauren is. I can see like Lauren's not an affectionate person, but I can see just the way like Lauren loves babies. She loves kids, and just the way she like interacts with kids is so sweet. Like it's so cute. So I'm just like, okay, like I see more of your affectionate side when it comes to kids versus like adults.
Yeah. Adults be getting on my nerves.
I think adults get on everybody's nerves.
But the kids, they're kids.
Yeah.
So, and I know how that feels, of like affection being important in a child's life.
Mm.
So, yeah, they're gonna pull it out of me, I know.
But I hope these episodes have given y'all like an insight on poly and monogamous relationships. And for me, poly is very new and I'm still navigating it, honestly. I'm trying to put together a game plan for myself and boundaries for myself. So when I do go out and date, I feel better equipped and better prepared, and I know what I'm looking for. I think right now the dating market is really bad because a lot of people don't truly genuinely know what they're looking for.
Yep.
They're just out there being like, I want to date somebody. Okay, why? I don't know.
I'm bored.
I want to date somebody, I'm bored, I want to get married, I want to have kids. But I don't think those are valid reasons to want to date somebody, because dating somebody is more than just checking things off a checklist.
Yeah.
So I
Are
just
you
want to be. I
intentional?
want to know what I'm looking for when I go out into the world and date and navigate this dating world.
And I know what I want too.
Mm,
I know what I want. I just want a woman who is very intentional in who she is and intentional and knows that they want me. And I'm not just like a guess or like
some fun for a moment.
or a fantasy.
Yeah.
Like I want to be a woman's reality. So yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking for yet. I'm really, like, I haven't given much thought on what I want when I go out and date. Like, I know what I want sexually.
I mean, everybody do. I feel like if you know if sex is important to you, then you know for the most part what you want sexually, and you know who's gonna give that to you.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's like,
and then you also have to be ready to do the work of being in a relationship, and that is part 2 of why I think the dating market is so bad, because people don't know what they want, and they also don't want to put in the work to be in a relationship with another person.
I think people just want these fairy tales that don't exist.
They don't exist. They literally don't exist.
It's just like if you're being in a relationship is a choice.
Yes.
Loving somebody is a choice. It's not just a feeling. And I think a lot of people just think, well, if I feel this way enough, then I'll get what I want. But you have to choose to love somebody. We're all people. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. We all go through our ups and downs in life. But it's up to you on if you want to make it work, whether you're in a monogamous situation or a poly situation. Like,
and you have a choice in both. Even if you
do.
get married, like you have a choice. Mm-hmm. You have a choice to continue being with that person. And yes, divorce is expensive and it's not easy, but if you're not getting up every day and choosing to love that person, then you're doing a disservice to them and yourself. Mm-hmm. So, and that's something I do like about poly is like, it's not like there's like divorce standing in our way of like, okay, well, we don't like each other right now, and maybe we don't have the money to get divorced, so we're just stuck with each other. Like, I like the freedom that poly gives you of like, you know what, I'm not in a good place or a good space to love you right now or love you anymore, so I'm just gonna.
And it's still, I'm sure it's still hard in a poly dynamic to have these conversations. Like, I don't know. I think some people think it's just easy because multiple people. You can say bye bye. Like it's still, if you're intentional, it's still gonna be hard to have that conversation that it's not working out.
Yeah. And
there's always risk whether you're dating one person or multiple people. It's a risk that you're in, that you're choosing to participate in. So it's no joke.
Being in any type of relationship dynamic is not easy, and whether you're poly or monogamous, you still choose and have input of how that relationship is and how it goes and the rules and the standards and boundaries of your relationship. Mm-hmm. Even in a monogamous relationship, you should still hold that person to a certain standard and hold yourself to a certain standard. And if it's getting to a point, and have those conversations, like conversations can eliminate so much drama if you just have that conversation initially versus letting things like build up and fester. So
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And I think my relationship, like from my personal experiences, a lot of my relationships have been better after we've had difficult conversations. Yeah. Because we learned each other on a deeper level and we got to the root, or as my grandmother says, the rut of the problem. So sometimes for me, once again, intimacy and emotional availability is very, very important to me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes having difficult conversations unlocks a different level of intimacy for me personally. So I think having those conversations really is helpful, and it helps me understand better of where you're at. Yeah. Because sometimes I might know where you're at, but it's so much better just hearing it from you.
If you've listened to me and Lauren's friendship episode, we talk about how intimacy is not only for romantic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the ways me and Lauren build intimacy in our relationship is by having open, honest, and sometimes difficult conversations with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the moment, I don't enjoy having those conversations, but after the conversation, it feels like a weight's been lifted and it feels good, and it does make us feel closer to each other. So, it's nice.
Yeah. Because sometimes we're just both like, I don't want to hear this. But
and we're very honest. Like, sometimes Lauren will tell me things, and I'm like, I'm really irritated right now. I'm not irritated at you, but what you said is true, and I'm just taking it in. But I'm gonna be honest, it's pissing me off.
And same, likewise, yeah, she'll call me out on something. I'm just like, I'll just roll my eyes and be silent. I'm like, I know she's right, but I want to be in denial a little bit longer.
Yep.
So yeah, we very big on having conversations and not letting each other sit in just silliness for too long.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, let's come back to reality a little bit. So yeah.
Oh, but I hope y'all have enjoyed our unintentional 3-part episode. We got mics, as you can see. We're not wearing them this episode. We're still learning how to use these mics, how to charge them. Like, they sound great, but I didn't realize the part you like stick it to your phone, that Bluetooth to the mic, also have to be charged. So that's charging. But we were able to get this last episode out for you guys.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna intertwine all these. It's just still gonna be one episode. So
I tried to look. The only thing I kept the same is my necklace, because I'm like, what jewelry was I wearing? And I feel like I wore something different every time. So I'm like, oh well, it is what it is.
Well, y'all here for the content, not how we dress. Or maybe you are here how we dress. We don't know.
But I hope, like, you learned something from this. And I hope that, like, if you are poly and there's something you would love to educate me on, I'm very open to that. I'm open to education of this, because I didn't realize being poly was like a choice until maybe I was like 23, between 23 and 25. I didn't know that this was like a choice, like a relationship style. So I just think it's important to learn different relationship styles and learn that everybody doesn't have to do the typical go get married to one person and just stay with them forever. So because it doesn't work for some people, and that's okay. Like, that's the reason we're all different people. We all have different communication styles, relationship styles. So that's what makes us unique and different, but also helps us work together. Because if everybody was monogamous, the world would be boring. If everybody was poly, the world would be crazy. So I think it's cool that everything kind of balances each other.
I agree. Different perspectives, different perceptions, and all that. So
what's something good you would give to, like, monogamous people?
What do you mean something good?
Like some advice.
Be open-minded, because whether you're in a monogamous or polydynamic, people are constantly changing. So you might have been with one person your whole life, but different versions of that one person.
Yeah.
So I will say, make room for your partner to still grow and be who they are, but also make sure to make time for you and your relationship, and not making somebody feel bad because they're not the same person you met 10 years ago. So
that's fantastic advice. Fantastic advice. Well, all right, y'all. You can follow me at Tiara the Caterer. I've been playing with my stress squishy ball this whole time.
I'm gonna have to get one.
It's perfect because it's not super firm, but it's not super soft. Like, it's a good, like, you can squeeze it and it feels like satisfying.
So that's how you like the mattress.
How did we get here? No, that's how you like the mattress. Okay, if my mattress was like this would actually be too squishy. I would need to be like a little firmer, but almost like the mattress I would like. And then today this is actually we're actually recording like on a Sunday night. So I came over here after work. We went to Lowe's and Home Depot, and then we went and got some burgers from
Skyrocket
Burgers. Those burgers were good. And then we went to Kids.
That's what I've been drinking on, y'all.
Y'all can see.
Yes,
We went to Kids. It's an ice cream place.
Yeah, they had a lot of options.
Yeah, they had like a lot of like cool options. Like they had like Thai tea, and I had gulab jamun, which is like it's like an Indian dessert. It's like these fried balls of dough, and it's soaked in like a saffron simple syrup, and it's so good. So I got that and like a toffee flavor, and Lauren got basic cheesecake and Oreo. But they had like a lot of cool like flavors from
they had mango and
from Asia. When I say Asia, I'm referring to all of Asia, like Asia, India, the Middle East. Like I'm referring to all that when I say that. But yeah, they had like mango, and they had like an almond, pistachio flavors. They had a lot of flavors.
Like it took us a good minute to just look at the menu to see how we were gonna do this.
Yeah. So they had, I want to say maybe 60 flavors.
Yeah.
Like just out.
And they like, let you test taste, so that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. They don't make some ice cream places.
Ever since COVID, funny. They don't do that anymore.
Yes, but some of them be funny and be like, oh, we can't sample nothing, or you can only have 3 samples or something. I like that they're like, you want to try this, you want to try this, you want to try this.
Yeah, they were very open. So
it was nice. I like that place. I would definitely go back. I would definitely be back there.
I like the cultural experience. We were the only 2 black women in there, but I think it was cool. They were very nice, and black and brown people can coexist. Because I'm tired of making it seem like we can. Yeah. So
nobody's looking at me crazy. Because I always dress where I show skin, and I know like
in different cultures.
Some people, some cultures, some people they'll like look at me crazy. I really don't care. I could care less. Like. It's making my day that I'm making you so upset that you're taking time out of your day to be mad at me. But yeah, it was really cool. Everybody's really nice. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's sad we have to say that as black women sometimes, and as queer people who we obviously look gay. Like it's extremely obvious.
Very.
But yeah, everybody's has been really kind and nice and sweet. Every time we like go somewhere where it's like entering into like a different culture, like everybody in there does not look like us.
Yes. But it's cool. They probably don't see a lot of us either. So it was nice just to pop in. But y'all can follow me at Dr. Reese, DOCTAREECE. So that's where you'll find me. And then, of course, we do have our Instagram up, opposite sides of the spectrum, if you want to follow us there. So please like, subscribe, spread the news about our podcast. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, Apple, everything. So just type it in and you'll see. You'll find us.
All right. Bye.
Peace.